Well, hello everyone. Welcome to my hobby home. My name is Cathy. Thank you for joining me today. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, thank you for coming back. Today I am going to be doing the Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt. This is my Clue 1. And these are my pieces. I have them done out. We're using A, B, C, and E today. And this is the fabric. I believe I showed you this on the last video. But these are the fabrics that we're using. We're not using all of them tonight. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to take an E and an A, and we are going to make 4 of these. So this is my A, this is my E, and it looks like there's only 4. So E is going to be my top square, and A is going to be my bottom square or triangle. Listen to me, I don't know my shapes, I guess. It's going to be my bottom triangle. I am just going to get into it and start sewing. And all of this is going to be done on a 1/4 inch seam unless stated otherwise. I am putting that down under my machine, dropping my needle. I'm going to make sure my pieces are even. I'm going to tell y'all, this is some nice fabric. It's very soft. Make sure my hand is not in your way there. And we're doing 4 of these. So I'm going to keep on. And I'm matching up right there also. And how is everyone doing today? We are at a nice, balmy 100-degree temps today. Very, very hot. We did have a little rain shower earlier this morning, but I'm telling you, that just made it very humid. Almost unbearable. It very, very hot today. I'll get this one in there, and then I'm going to check my seams here, check my edges there, make sure they're matching. Okay, and here's my 4th one. For some reason, when I get them up there, they don't seem to be laying correctly. There we go. Okay, so here we have the 4. Okay, and we're done with our E's. We still have some A's here. And I have to press them towards the gray. Okay, now we have those sewn and pressed. So the next thing we do is we take our block here and we add a C to it. So we've got to see which one we need. I believe it's the middle one. So that's going to make 4 squares there. So let me get 4 out. And I'll put the other ones back away. Okay, our block is going to be seated this way. And this is going to sew right here on this edge. Okay, and we're going to take the next one and just continue on. We got that matching up. For some reason, I'm thinking my seam is off a little bit. I measured it and it was showing 1/4 of an inch, but it's not catching right there. So what I'm doing is I'm matching up with that corner right there. I'm going to get this in and I'll make sure these 2 edges are matching. Okay, and then this is my last piece here. This will be my number 4 piece. Of course, I'm going to make sure my edges are matching. Okay, so we'll have 4 of these. 4 of these blocks here. And I am to press this to this fabric. Okay, so we have these pressed out. Our next step was we are going to do an A, and I turned the fabric the way it's going to be laid, and we need 8 of those. So let's count our 8 out. Okay, there's our 8. And then we need 8 B's. Okay, there's 8 of those. Okay, so how these are working is the B folds over onto the A, and I didn't say this, but I think it may be self-explanatory that right sides together. Okay, and we will do 8 of these. So, has anybody done anything fun this summer? The summer is almost coming to an end. Children are going back to school. I don't have any school-age children, but I do have great nieces and great nephews that are going to school. And I know mamas are excited about it. I know I always was, because I was a working mom, and childcare during the summer was always trouble and expensive. I tell you, I do not know how my children are going to do it. They're both I have 3 children, and 2 of them are having babies this year. And I'm telling you, I don't know how they're going to do it. But they'll do it just like we all did when we had little ones. You do what you have to do to make it work. And I have one that I'm actually tonight going to be packing my bags for the just in case. And my son has already requested food because he is in Kentucky, and there is certain foods that he cannot get there. And a lot of it I'm just going to make myself and carry up to him. I'm going to do freezer meals for them. I'm going to try to stay up there with them a week. And that will be exciting, because I want to get all my little grandbaby girls' lovings. Oh, it's so precious. And I believe my daughter-in-law's mother's going to be there also. I think she's going up on the 7th or 11th. She's not due until the 20th, but so she's 3 weeks away. And the baby has already dropped and turned. And of course, she's on her 1-week appointments. So as they monitor her, we will keep an eye on her to make sure she's okay. And, you know, if they get word that it looks like it's going to be sooner, then I will be prepared to go sooner. My employment already knows that if I get a call, I'm gone. It don't matter if I'm at work. If it's in the middle of the night, I am gone, because this is my first grandbaby, and I'm not going to miss that. And as I said, it's a 10-hour drive. 10 hours is a long time to be driving by yourself, because my husband, he'll be working a shutdown, so he won't be able to make it for her birth. But he'll probably be able to make it in a couple weeks after. I can't get these edges to match up. There we go. When he comes off the shutdown, he'll probably head up there and see them. But I'm hoping when I go, I can stay the whole week. But if it's a lot of people, I'm going to come home, and then after her mom and her friends and all leave, then I'll go up there. So she'll have a little extra time, you know, for people that can help her. Because my son does work too, and I mean, he's in the Army. He works strange hours and stuff. But I am just so excited for Green Baby Girl. Okay. So we have 8 of these. Yeah, what in the world happened there? Okay, so on these, we are going to press to the dark side. So it'll be like that. Okay. Okay, now we have that set of squares done. The next thing we do, we're going to take, this is our E, A, and C piece, and then we're going to take this and sew these 2 sections together. So I'm going to put this together here. Got to make sure I have all my corners together. I'm not going to. Okay, and I'll put these 2 together. Yeah, if you hear anything in the background, that's my daughter and my husband discussing. She came by to see me today. Okay, I've got to pull this over just a little bit. And this is our last square here. So we have our 4 squares here. And well, it's our rectangles now. Okay, and these are going to be pressed. Both of them are going to press in this way. So they'll all press into the center. So I'm going to press those real quick. Okay, we have those pressed out. See how the seams are both going toward the center there. So I'm going to move these out of the way now, because our next step is taking an A and a C. We're doing 4 of these. I believe that's all the A's we have left. So we have A and C. before. Okay, so we're going to get to making these here. Yes, I've noticed it's a little bit easier if I use my seam ripper to get my fabrics up because they like to stay together. Okay, so here we go. I have my 1/4 inch seam guide right there too. That's helping me guide my way into 1/4 inch. I double checked it. It is correct, but I'm guessing I'm getting off of it just a hair, I'm guessing. Put my top on there. Oh, it works better without the top. Matching these edges up, getting them going. So has anything interesting happened in your area this week? I will say we had some, my sister and I went to another town about 45 minutes to an hour away from us yesterday, and we were going to a farmer's market kind of things. It sells peaches and butter beans, watermelons, cantaloupes. It's a farmer's market. And we decided we wanted to go to a nursery just right down from it. And on the road, on the way to that nursery, there was a truck that had driven off of the road. Well, the truck didn't drive off the road. The driver drove off the road. But it was a 70-year-old man and his dog were traveling and ran off the side of the road. And the vehicle caught on fire. Okay, so these we are going to press to the colored side, our little dove side. Okay, now we have these pressed out. So let's see what our next step is. And it does say that these should measure 3.5 to 3.5. I will check the final measurements. We are taking a C, and we've got A and C, and we're putting a C down here, so I need 4 of these. Okay, so we're folding this one up. We are going to match these corners. For a second there, my brain didn't know what it was supposed to do. This is not directional, so it is okay that I don't flip it or anything like that. We're going to match these corners. And don't think that these are all perfect, because I assure you I am going to be doing some trimming down for sure. Probably, for very certainly, we'll be doing some trimming down. To be able to make it the right size. So we're doing this one also. But anyway, I was telling you about the gentleman that it was a 70-year-old man driving his truck with a camper trailer on the back of it, had his dog in the vehicle with him, and he was carried to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And luckily, some locals saw the accident and ran and got him out of the vehicle, him and the dog, out of the vehicle before they had serious injuries. So I thought that was pretty cool. But I mean, traffic was stopped for several hours because the propane tanks on the camper trailer started exploding, and we could literally see the smoke from probably 20 minutes away. It was that bad. It was bad. When we got there and I saw the pictures on the news. Okay, so these are going to press to this side, but when I saw the news, I saw the truck. It was just a burned shell. It was awful. But okay, so I'm about to press these. Okay, we're done pressing, and I will say none of these matched up right here. I don't know. It went in the corner, but I'm guessing for some reason it just, I don't know. Maybe when I put my seam here, it'll show that. Okay, so now we are going to take our C longer rectangle. Yeah, I'm getting a little pile of stuff right here. And we are going to take this and put it next to this block, like this. So let's get this started here. And we're going to match that seam. And I get this in here is kind of jutted out a bit. So I am going to get this one started, get that needle down in it. And then I'm going to match it up with the bottom seam, or the bottom edge. Okay, let's continue on with this. Matching them again up here at the top corner and at the bottom edge. Now I know I don't have my needle in that, but my foot is sitting on it, so I know it's not going anywhere. And we will continue until we have all 4 of them done. So anybody else have any good stories that's happened recently? I thought that was a nice story that somebody stopped and helped, because a lot of times you just don't hear about people helping people anymore. But I know that man's family that was in the truck is very appreciative of that. I know if I was a family member of that man, I would be very, very appreciative of it. I don't really keep up with a lot of current events because, you know, some of these things are just sad, just terrifying and sad. So you won't hear me talking about news events, political stuff, because I believe we all have opinions, and to us, our opinion is correct, but I just don't like to get into those conversations. So, okay, now that we have these done, we are going to press to this side. Okay, and we have these pressed out, so we have these 4 squares here. And what we are going to do now is take our A and B block, just making sure, and we're going to put a C on the top of it. And it's going to go like this. And we will have 4 of these. So we're going to do like we did all the others. We're going to start at the top and go to the bottom. Now notice that this seam here goes down, so I'm going to put it on my machine so when I sew it goes in the right direction. So we don't have to worry about it getting pulled up under it. And today my kitty cats are not bothering me. I think they're outside. I think my husband has put them out. So they can't be in here meowing because they like to come in here and get into things. They always getting into things. And almost all my kitty cats are rescues. I have 3 that come in and out of the house. They don't like to sleep outside. I don't like them to be out when it gets hot. But I also have 2 that just kind of, they're a little feral. They will let us pet them, but you can't put your hands on them and pick them up or anything like that. But I have 2 females outside that we live in the country and they're my mouse cats. I don't mind them out there. And I have a tomcat that's been out there recently, but they're all fixed. All of the cats that stay at my house are fixed. We do not want any no babies, no baby kittens. So, okay, so now we have these with the C, and we're going to iron up to that. Okay, now we have these pressed in the correct direction. So what we will be doing is taking these 2 units, and we will be sewing them together. So we will have 4 of these. Okay. So I'm going to just put those together, get that needle down in there, and even up these bottom corners. I know this is probably boring for some people watching this, But I will tell you guys, if you're trying to learn to sew, or like in my instance, quilt, I have watched so many videos and gotten so much information on things to do, how to fix certain things, if your fabric's not laying correctly, what to do. It's very interesting for me to do that, even though, I mean, when I was in high school, I had 3 years of home ec, but you know, only a couple of those years are sewing. One of them was etiquette, one was sewing, one was cooking. I don't know what the last year was. I didn't do it my senior year in high school, but I believe it was my junior year. We have what's called the literary rally. I think most schools do have that. I know in Louisiana we have it. In my junior year, I went to state. I placed second in state in the literary rally on, I think it was the etiquette. It was kind of like how to throw a party, you know, like where your plate is supposed to sit and all of that. You know, where your forks and all of that go. I know why restaurants wrap up all their silverware. It's because nobody knows how to sit it properly on the table. And if you want, I can actually show you that one day. I'll have to pull out my napkins, and I won't pull out my silverware, but I'll pull out napkins and do a place sitting for you. If you want, I mean, that's a simple home ec type thing to do. And that was the whole reason of doing this channel, is because I realize people are, our youth are not being taught this in school anymore, which is quite scary, because I guess they just don't expect to have formal get-togethers. So now we're going to press to this left side here. Okay, we have these set units ironed, and so what we're doing now is we're going to take our other unit, and it is going to go on the top like this. So we are just going to fold this down and sew this together right here. I may have some seams that will nest here. I think that seam is supposed to nest. We'll make that seam nest. And what a seam nesting is where you have these two seams. Notice how this one is pressed down and this one is pressed up. So when you put them together, they bump up to one another, and it's a smooth, it's just like two pieces of fabric together. It's not even, there's not a thickness there that messes that up. I'm going to hold those together, and then when I get down here, I'm just going to make sure this bottom corner matches up. And I do have a seam that is pressed upwards here that I just run my scissors there. And I did find my stiletto, but I just don't use it. Now that wanted to go wonky there. Let me look at that. I'm going to put that back under there at that seam, and I'm going to try it again, because I'm going to make sure my seams are the same everywhere. Okay, so we're doing our second piece here. And see guys, that's what you can do. Anytime you have something that seems like it doesn't go the way it's supposed to, you can always take it off and redo it. And being that I think my seam went too small, I didn't have to rip it out, because Going too big is when you'd have to rip it out. Going too small is when you just go back over it again. Okay, and I'm nesting this one also. This will pull that on through without raising that foot, but I just like making sure. Now my needle is still down, so it's not that I'm putting the needle in my fabric. It's that I'm putting the foot on my fabric to keep it from pulling out. Okay, so I'll show you my stiletto here. I have this stiletto, and you can push it with this, or I'll show you how I use it. I use the needle point, and I just hold this. You see, that one did roll for, so we had a good thing to show you here. And I'm just keeping that flat there. And I will tell you, every now and then my machine decides to take a mind of its own and do something different. It is a Brother SQ928 quilting machine. That's what sold me on it when I purchased it earlier this year. I do have another Brother sewing machine. It's old. Well, it's not old, because I have a Singer that was my grandmother's. My grandmother had a lot. I think all of us girls got a sewing machine from my grandma. But I won't use it. It's a good machine. It's in good shape, but I won't use it. And our grandmother and our aunt, now my dad's mother, they made sure we knew how to sew. They knew sure. The main thing was my grandmother said she did not want to see any of her grandkids to get married and not know how to sew a button on a shirt. And there are a lot of people that don't know how to sew buttons on shirts. I used to, when I was in college, would do some seamstress work for extra money, and that was one of the things I did. I ironed clothes, I washed clothes, I mended clothes. I literally had one client that would bring me all of her clothes to wash and to mend. I think her husband broke every button off of every shirt almost every week. And it was a little joke that I would tell her every week she had to quit ripping her husband's clothes off, because I couldn't keep putting buttons on there, because eventually the fabric was going to tear and not the string. And she just thought it was funny. I think he was a mechanic, and he would get clothes caught on stuff or something. I don't remember exactly what all she said happened, but I just thought it was funny. I would just joke with her about that. But I put on a lot of buttons in my time when I was in college. Okay, so this is the final square. So I'm about to press it up. These have to press down. So I will show you that in a moment. Okay, and here is our finished block. This should measure 8 by 8. And my instructions tell me to label these step 1. But isn't that pretty? Look at that. That is pretty. I think I have that wrong. I do. That's how it goes. But isn't that pretty? This is going to be interesting. This is called the Puzzle Monthly Quilt. Let me grab my instructions. It says right here what it's called. It says this is the 2023 Fall Puzzle Mystery Quilt. This is the color wheel I chose. And it tells me Puzzle Mystery Quilt. And right here it tells us, I don't know, it tells us their mailing date, so we know each month we will get one. Our last clue is going to be April 26th. That's going to be clue number 10. So this is going to be fun. This is called Skydiver Secret Forest by Dear Stella Designs. I think if I had known the fabrics, we're going to look at this because I picked it based off of color. I don't really like animals on my fabric. That is a pretty one though. But I like these two. So I'm not real fond of the animals, but we will see how this turns out. So if you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up. I would love it if you would subscribe to me. And if you'd like to see whenever I have new content uploaded, just click on that notification bell and you'll receive a notification. And as always, until we see each other again, have a very blessed day. Thank you guys. Y'all have a good night.